So, good morning to everyone. Today's topic is question paper from university exam paper as we completed unit number second. It is summer 2018 last paper and it is of backlog examination. Very first question into this exam is question number 3A based on non-inverting summing amplifier, and here is the problem statement. The averaging circuit shown in figure 3A. This is the figure 3A. I hope the PPTs are visible in full screen mode to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Mute yourself. Is to be designed so that to get this equation, that is V0 is equal to 5.2 volt. As I said, here output is given and value of RF is asked to calculate. Such kind of problems are rarely comes into the examination, because actually this is not the design problem, this is the analytical problem where the values are given and one of the unknown value we have to find out. So this is not at all, say we can say, design, where VA and VB is 1.5 volt. I will mark on diagram as well. Here VA and VB is 1.5 volt. Then VC, third, instead of taking V1 V2 V3, VA VB VC liya hai. VC is 3 volt here to this resistance. Then actually this was the print mistake into the examination. I have taken as it is from the question paper and I'll let you know what is the, say, mistake. R1 is said 1.5K. Of course, this is the R1 which is 1.5K shown in the figure. And along with that, R2 is shown 1.5K, and you can see in complete figure there is no R2 and there is no label to the input resistances which are connected through V1, V2 and VA, VB and VC. So here in such situation we assume suitable data and we solve the problem until and unless we get any, say, correction from the university. Mostly we have to assume, of course, never, there will not be any correction from university during the exam. So then determine the desired value of RF. So this is the RF which you have to calculate. Again, as I said, here the labelings are not proper into the examination, so we will consider that R2 is nothing but all these resistances, say RA, RB and RC, and which is also of 1.5K. So I'll say that this section is इनपुट साइड में जितने भी रेजिस्टेंस है इंक्लूडिंग R1 into inverting terminal and these three resistances in non-inverting terminal are all having value 1.5K. Okay, so coming to the given data is output voltage is 5.2 volt, which is nothing but here, of course, and input VA and VB is 1.5 volt. We already have seen. Somebody has their mic unmute. Okay. Is PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Full screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Then VC is given 3 volt. So input voltages are given. R1 is 1.5. We already have seen 1.5 K. So as this was the wrongly printed into the examination, so what I did, R2, I assume all the R connected to the non-inverting terminal, means where? Means here, this one, this resistance and this, which is connected to VA, VB and VC. They are of 1.5K. So I have mentioned label, I have not mentioned into the diagram, but the resistance connected to VA is RA, resistance connected to VB is RB, resistance connected to VC is RC, and nothing but R is nothing but 1.5K. Now the problem is proper, otherwise it was, say, of course, wrong. So we know that in non-inverting terminal voltage, we have seen the theory. यहाँ पे हमने Vn बोला था, node voltage Vn. So is nothing but non-inverting voltage. Non-inverting voltage, for that formula is R by 2 divided by R plus R by 2 into VA. plus R by 2 upon R plus R by 2 into VB plus R by 2 upon R plus R by 2 into VC. This is the node voltage which is at non-inverting terminal. So, solving that non-inverting voltage, we get VA upon 3 plus VB upon 3 plus VC upon 3, which will be equal to, say, average of all these voltages, that is VA, VB and VC addition divided by 3. So of course we can calculate now what is the voltage at non-inverting terminal at the in the diagram, and that is the, of course, first step. So what uh, we have kept values, that is VA is 1.5 volt, VB is 1.5 volt and VC is 3. So it is 6 volt. 6 volt divided by 3. So the non-inverting terminal voltage is 2 volt. I'll move to the next PPT here. So uh, now non-inverting voltage that we calculated, V and I, is equal to 2 volt. But what is the output? Output is, this is the non-inverting mode, so output is non-inverting gain, that is nothing but 1 plus RF upon R1 multiplied by non-inverting terminal voltage, that is VA plus VB plus VC divided by 3. So 1 plus RF upon R1 multiplied by V and I. Putting all the values, given values, we know output which is given, which is 5.2 volt, equal to 1 plus RF we have to calculate, then R1 it is given 1.5 K, and V and I right now we calculated, which is 2 volt. Then taking RF right, left hand side and calculating the value, I'm sorry, it must be equal to here. So here RF is equal to 5.2 divided by 2 volt minus 1 multiplied by value of R1, that is equal to 1.5 K, and the value of RF is now 2.4 K obtained. So in this way we can calculate value of some unknown component if another values are properly given. So this is the value of resistance RF. So this is the solution for question number 3A. Next is question number 3B. It is again similar, only formulas are there, the values are changed. Design op-amp based phase shift oscillator for output frequency 1 kilohertz. पहले हमने शायद 200 hertz पे किया था. And take power supply of plus minus 12 volt. So I have used RC phase shift oscillator circuit, which is like this. We know that circuit is must in every problem. Then here the output frequency of oscillation is given by formula F0 is equal to 1 over twice pi RC under root of 6. Selecting standard value of resistance, capacitance, C is equal to 0.01 microfarad. Now you might be asking question that earlier I have used 0.1 microfarad while designing for 200 hertz. Now I have changed to 0.01 microfarad. Okay, because if you calculate it for 0.1 microfarad, value of resistance will be very less in ohm values. So because the frequency is increased, you just look at the value. Into the book there is a relation what value of capacitor is to be chosen for a particular range of frequency. Please go through that. So as the frequency is 1 kilohertz, I have chosen less value of capacitance, that 0.01 microfarad. Putting all into the formula, the resistance can be calculated 2 pi f0 1 over 2 pi f0 c under root 6. Putting value 2 pi f0 is 1 kilohertz, c is 0.01 microfarad, and under root 6 it comes 6.497 kilo ohm. Then what will be the output peak to peak? It will be plus minus Vsat, and plus minus Vsat is nothing but approximately equal to plus minus 12 volt. Then this is the part of feedback network. We have to think of the amplifier gain RF upon R1, and that must be greater than 29 to make AV beta is equal to 1. So we know that the beta factor for RC phase shift oscillator is 1 by 29. Therefore, AV is RF by R1, which should be slightly greater than 29. So I chose 30 is the gain, RF by R1. Assuming one of the value, that is RF, say 50K. So R1 comes 1.66K. Okay, again, if you are connecting RComp, I every time say that if you are connecting RComp, I shall erase this screen first. Okay, if you are connecting RComp in non-inverting, say, terminal, and it is showing into the diagram, then RComp should be parallel combination of RF and R1. That will be, of course, 1.66K parallel to 50K, and approximate value will be near to 1.66K. Will be, of course, slightly less than 1.66K. So 1.5K will be the compensation resistance kept into the circuit. Is it clear? Shall I move further?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the next question from the same examination is question number 4A. Wattage is also given on the top of the PPT. So question number 4, which is summer 18 backlog, and it has 7 marks. You can see, say, this is the वेन ब्रिज ऑसिलेटर डिजाइन गेन स्टेबलाइज्ड, ये वर्ड नहीं भी यूज किया तो सेम रहेगा डिजाइन. वेन ब्रिज ऑसिलेटर टू जनरेट a stable frequency of 2 kilohertz sinusoidal waveform. Of course, your RC phase shift oscillator and Wien bridge oscillator, that is nothing but RC oscillator, will provide you sinusoidal waveforms only. So Wien bridge, it is said, that's why the circuit diagram for Wien bridge is used, where the feedback network is series and parallel combination of capacitor, that is C1 and R1 in series, and C2 and R2 in parallel. And again, as this does not provide any phase shift, here instead of inverting mode of operation, we are using non-inverting amplifier, where the feedback voltage is given to the non-inverting terminal of op amp, and feedback gain will be, sorry, the gain of this non-inverting amplifier will be 1 plus RF upon Ri. So the output frequency of oscillation is given by f0 is equal to 1 over twice pi under root of R1, R2, C1, C2, complete is under root. Then assuming, for simplicity of course, assuming R1, R2 is equal to R, C1, C2 is equal to, say, C, then the formula modifies f0 is equal to 1 over twice pi RC. Please remember, you are drawing the circuit with R1 C1 and R2 C2. You have to, say, mention this step, and later on you have to use this formula, that is f0 is equal to 1 upon twice RC. Directly using f0 is equal to 1 over twice pi RC is not, say proper way. Then selecting the standard value of capacitor C. So what is the frequency? Frequency is in kilohertz. Okay, please remember, if it is in hertz, less than, say, 500 hertz or less than 1 kilohertz, then 0.1 microfarad is suitable. Here it is in kilohertz, 10 kilohertz tak ye chal jayega. So I have chosen 0.01 microfarad again. Then calculate value of R for frequency is equal to 2 kilohertz. Putting the values, that is R is equal to 1 over 2 pi f0 into C, and putting the values 1 over twice pi frequency 2 kilohertz multiplied by capacitance 0.01 microfarad, the value of resistance is 7.96 kilo ohm. So this is all about what this part is following, one of the, say, part which is nothing but the feedback network component calculation. Then we have to focus on the gain, and in this Wien bridge oscillator, beta factor for RC network, beta factor is 1 by 3, not 1 by 29. Please remember, these two are the different, beta is different in phase shift and Wien bridge. So therefore the amplifier gain is a function of 1 plus RF upon R1, should be greater than 3. So I have chosen exactly equal to 3 here. So RF is equal to 50k, then R1 will be 25k. So RF by R1 will be 2 plus 1, it will be 3. So AV beta is equal to 1. In the numerical, you may show exact 3, no worry about that. Else, during design, you may go for 4, 5, up to 10 you may say select. Suppose one of the candidate is selecting say 4 and another candidate is selecting say 7 is the amplifier gain. So both will get same credit. Okay, so no say difference in marks. But if you choose the gain less than 3, so definitely it will, this part will be completely wrong and you will lose the marks for this part. So and the last is compensation resistance. If it is connected, of course, this is R1 parallel to RF simply, so it is 16.66 kilo ohm. This is the solution for question number 4a, 7 marks, Wien bridge oscillator. I'm moving to the next PPT. This is the question number 4b, where I have not provided a solution. 4b, rarely such kind of question is asked. If you see all 3 papers related to second unit, only one paper that is of course of backlog, that's why it may be asked. So what are the differentiator? It is a theory question. Draw the circuit diagram and explain its design procedure. Design procedure kya hai? Design procedure is select maximum frequency as FA, then FB will be 10 times of FA, then whatever the rules that we have already seen in previous lecture. So I have not provided solution because this is completely theoretical question and already covered into the previous lectures. Now here questions from 2018 paper, that is question 3a, 3b, 4a and 4b is covered. I'll move back to the previous question paper, that is winter 18 and winter 19, because few part from those question paper are still remaining. So I have just discussed this question, which is from winter 2019 6 marks regular paper. Design a circuit to add 3 DC input voltages, so V1, V2 and V3. I just say went through the procedure in previous lecture, but today I have complete solution on this. The output circuit must be equal to 2 times negative sum of the input. So what will be the output? Of course, output must be twice, minus of twice in bracket V1 plus V2 plus V3. Solution very easy. It is negative sum of bola hai, that's why it is inverting summing amplifier. You can see in the diagram all 3 inputs are connected to the inverting terminal. Compensation resistance is also connected and one feedback resistance is connected. So we know that the output formula for inverting summing amplifier is V out is equal to minus of RF by R1 into V1. You can see R1 is in V1, say connected to V1 source, RF by R2 V2 plus RF by R3 into V3. As the given statement, the output is twice. Therefore, the scaling factor, that is nothing but gain, must be equal to 2. So therefore, I am choosing RF by R1 is equal to RF by R2, because all the input sources having same scaling factor, nothing but 2. So I am choosing RF by R1, RF by R2 and RF by R3, all are equal to 2. So hence, assuming that all the resistances, that is R1, R2 and R3 is nothing but R is of 5 kilo ohm. Accordingly, if we calculate, we get feedback resistance is equal to 10 kilo ohm, that is nothing but 10 kilo ohm divided by 5k, which is equal to 2. Therefore, the output will be equal to minus of RF upon R is nothing but number 2 into V1 plus V2 plus V3. Now here design part means output voltage के लिए design part is over. Then compensation resistance, which is connected in say non-inverting terminal, is parallel combination of all resistances R1, R2, R3 and R4. Calculating that, the compensation resistance will be 1.43 kilo ohm There is no standard value of 1.43 kilo ohm available, so approximately 1.5 kilo ohm is used. So this is the solution for question number 3b, winter 19 regular marks. Next is the differentiator, which we already discussed. Any question till the time? Anybody has any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So again, coming back to the numerical, we solved this numerical in earlier lecture, but part of the design is not solved. While taking on the PPT, I have taken complete solution rather than half part of this. So design differentiator, that is question number 4a, winter 2018 7 marks regular paper, and also repeated in winter 2019 7 marks regular paper. That will differentiate a signal that varies from 10 kilohertz 10 hertz to 1 kilohertz. Draw its output waveforms. ये part हमने लिया नहीं था by mistake. Draw its output waveform. If sine wave of 1 volt peak to peak at 100 hertz is applied to the 1 volt peak at 100 hertz is applied to the differentiator. Solution: given frequency range is 10 hertz to 1 kilohertz. Of course, design procedure of differentiator, FA is nothing but F max into the signal, that is 1 kilohertz. So putting the values into the formula, FA is equal to 1 over twice by RF C1. Let C1 is 0.1 microfarad. Then RF comes 1.59 K. This part is already covered. Then choosing another value of frequency FB is 10 times of FA, that will be 1 into 10, that is 10 kilohertz, which is equal to 1 over twice pi R1 C1. Calculating value of R1, that is equal to 1 over twice pi FB C1. Putting value of FB and C1 into this formula, R1 is 159 ohm. And next step is we have to follow the time constant RFCF will be equal to R1C1. So unknown is now CF, taking CF this side and calculating it by putting value of R1, C1 and RF here. We get C1 is equal to 0.01 microfarad. And the compensation resistance is nothing but R1 parallel to RF. R1 is 1.59 K, RF is 159 ohm. So it will be of course near to 159 ohm. It comes 144.54 ohm, but not standard. So approximate 150 ohm is available into the market. So this is the complete design of the differentiator. Here only the differentiator is designed, but the next part of this question is draw the output waveform for sine wave is applied of 1 volt peak is nothing but 2 volt peak to peak at 100 hertz applied to the above differentiator. Solution is V in is what? Sinusoidal waveform, omega t, 2 pi, 100 is the frequency, so 2 pi t. Peak amplitude, Vm is nothing but 1 volt. Peak to peak, you can see into the waveform I have drawn 1 volt plus, 1 volt minus. These are the 2 points. So it will be 2 volt peak to peak. And output of differentiator is nothing but minus of RFC1 dV in by dt. Putting the value of RFC1 and V in into this formula, we get V out is equal to minus of 1.59 K multiplied by 0.1 microfarad, derivative of 1 sine 2 pi 100 t with respect to time. So V out is equal to, putting all the values, so we get this RFC1 as it is, derivative of sine will be cos, so 2 pi 100 outside and cos of 100 t. So calculating it, if you calculate this part, means 1.59 multiplied by 1.59 K multiplied by 0.1 microfarad multiplied by 2 pi multiplied by 100, it comes 0.099. 0.099. So it is minus 0.099 cos of 2 pi 100 t, and 0.099 is nothing but 0.1. So I have rounded it up. It is 0.1 cos of 2 pi 100 t. So it means your input is sine and your output is cos. So that means if the sine wave is applied to the differentiator, output is the cos waveform. And you can see into the waveform, this is the sinusoidal waveform that I have applied sine 2 pi 100t, but output is starting at minus 0.1 and it is cos, that is 90-degree phase shifted, and frequency is same. So you can see here at 0.1 output is started. This is output minus 0.1 cos 2 pi 100t. So at minus 0.1 it is starting. It passes through the pi by 2, that is nothing but 90, because cos and sine has 90-degree phase shift between them, and amplitude goes to plus 0.1 and minus 0.1, and this will be a small waveform. We'll have simulation of this differentiator into the multisim right now. Before that, is there any question on differentiator you may discuss with me? If not, I'll move to the simulation. Is there any question? Rohit, what happened? Rohit Mankar. Rohit Mankar.
No, sir.
Why your mute is the mic is unmute?
Yeah, sir. No, sir, it's nothing, sir.
Any question from your end?
No, sir.
Okay. So mute yourself. So here the same design, just look at the values. I will go through the values. I will erase this highlighter. So C1 is 0.1 microfarad. Please note it down if you have pen and paper. RF is 1.59 K. Then R1 is 159 ohm. CF is 0.01 microfarad, and compensation resistance RComp is 150 ohm. We will be using these values into the simulation and we'll see these results. Then here I open multisim. Is it visible to you all? Is multisim visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can see here, this is the operational amplifier, where, please mute yourself, where R1 of 159 ohm, which we calculated, is connected in series with C1. We assume 0.1 microfarad. In feedback, we have 1.59 kilo ohm RF, and we calculated CF, which is 0.01 microfarad. We connected into the input. You can see here sinusoidal waveform function generator. I have used sinusoidal waveform of 100 hertz because problem statement में दिया है 100 hertz. 100 hertz here, 100 hertz and 1 volt peak amplitude sinusoidal waveform is applied to this circuit, and here the CRO is connected to output as well as the input. So output is connected to channel A, and and input is connected to channel B. So I'll simulate this circuit. You can see here, okay, I will stop this simulation so it will be very easy to understand. Are you able to see two waveforms?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will point it out. The yellow one, you can see it is of 2 volt peak to peak. It is connected to what? Channel B. Input is connected to channel B, and multiplier is 500 millivolt is nothing but 0.5 volt. So if you measure peak to peak voltage of this yellow color sinusoidal waveform, which is having say 4 divisions, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 4 into 0.5, it is of how much? 2 volt. So it is 2 volt peak to peak is nothing but 1 volt peak, having 100 hertz frequency. Then white color waveform, you can see white color waveform which has, I cannot highlight here, which has 90-degree phase shift, which is the output. White color waveform is the output, which is 90-degree phase shifted, is nothing but cos waveform. Let's see what we get. We get 0.1 minus whenever it is, means the sinusoidal waveform is 0. At that time cosine waveform is minus 0.1. We got last equation, minus 0.1 cos of 2 pi 100t. So let's come to the channel A, because channel A has the output. Channel A का multiplier क्या है? Into this CRO, you can see here, I highlighted it, 100 millivolt, 100 millivolt. And let's just check the division within which the white color waveform, which is cos waveform, is obtained. It has 2 division. 2 division multiplied by 100 millivolt is nothing but 200 millivolt, means it is 0.2 peak to peak, and 0.2 peak to peak is nothing but 0.1 peak. And you can see the start point here. Here I have kept cursor. Here it is minus 0.1. As the sine started as 0, cosine started as minus 0.1 volt, which was the design. So this is the result of design. What we will do, we will change the frequency and we'll see what is the change. Okay, I'll change the frequency by going to the function generator. I'll make it 1 kilohertz. 1000 hertz is nothing but 1 kilohertz. I made it 1 kilohertz and I will run it again. So you can see the frequencies increase and frequencies increase. See, the frequencies increase. Input voltage is same, that is 2 volt peak, sorry, 2 volt peak to peak. What happened to the output voltage? Output voltage is increased. Output voltage is increased. I will bring that into the visible range. You can see this is the output voltage, white color. It is now how much? Minus 1 and plus 1. So it is 2 volt peak to peak. If I keep both the multipliers same, here for channel A it is 500 millivolt and for channel B also 500 millivolt. You can see now the amplitude of input and the output is same, only phase is different. They are 90-degree phase shifted. So conclusion is that earlier we had 100 hertz, amplitude was very less. Then I have 1 kilohertz, amplitude is increased. Let's go for 500 hertz only, middle point. So it is 500 hertz now. I'll run it. So for 500 hertz, you can see for 500 hertz, the amplitude of output is now 1 volt peak to peak. That is, it is starting at minus 0.5 and moving up to plus 0.5. So it is 1 volt peak to peak. It is half of the signal. So lastly, concluding that for 100 hertz, output is of course cosine wave, but amplitude is 0.1 volt peak only. And for 500 hertz, it is 0.5 volt minus 0.5 volt पे start होता है, तो 0.5 volt peak. And for 1 kilohertz, it is 1 volt peak. Input and output same in frequency, same in amplitude, but different in phase. So here we can say that for differentiator, the output is cosine and amplitude of output is dependent on the input frequency, and it is of course directly proportional. As I'm increasing the frequency, output amplitude is also increasing. Output waveform amplitude is also increasing. Let's go for another waveform which is not given into the say problem, but we will go for the square wave. as an input to this. So I have used square wave of 500 hertz and I will run this circuit and I'll stop this. So you can see for square wave I have to change the multiplier because it must be in visible range. So you can see here I'll change multiplier of input as well. So you can see if the square wave is applied to the differentiator, then spikes are obtained. For say negative going pulse, it has a positive spike, and for positive going pulse, it has a negative spike, where there is a transition from positive to negative and negative to positive, and it is happening because of it is an inverting differentiator. Input is connected to inverting. Let's have a sinusoidal waveform. Let's have sinusoidal waveform. I will apply sinusoidal waveform to this differentiator and I'll run this. So sinusoidal waveform, I'll change the multiplier. This is the input, yellow color, and this is the output. What do you observe? If sinusoidal waveform is given to the differentiator, output is square wave. So I'll finally make comment on this. Finally, I will make comment on this differentiator. 2-3 points which is to be remembered is that one is output waveform amplitude is the function of input frequency, and they have direct relation. If input frequency increases, output amplitude also increases, and vice versa. If we apply sinusoidal input to the differentiator, then output is cosine wave. If we apply square wave to the differentiator, output are spikes, and if we apply triangular wave to the differentiator, output is square wave. This is all about the differentiator that is shown into the multisim software. I will move to the integrator circuit because in previous lecture we have seen what adder, subtractor, uska simulation we have seen. So here I will open integrator circuit. So this is the integrator circuit. So you can see in integrator circuit, R1 is connected into the input, that is inverting terminal, RF and CF into the feedback, and one compensation resistance is connected. Again, input is connected to channel B of the CRO and output is connected to the channel A of the CRO. If you want PPTs, I have that design problem into the integrator. Let me open that. So integrator, I have one of the numerical for that. So this is the numerical. This is the numerical. Let's see the same values. We will see these 3 points after design, that is sine wave we will apply. Step input we cannot apply right now into this multisim, but we'll apply square wave of these values. And design किया है already. We have designed this. FA is 159 hertz के लिए, RF CF की value निकाला है. Accordingly, we'll move to the integrator. So R1 is this, RF and CF is this, and I'll run this. I'll see the input. What is input right now? You can see input is 5 kilohertz frequency here, sinusoidal waveform, and 1 volt VP means 2 volt peak to peak is the input, and we'll see the output. I'll pause. Okay. So here okay, so here you can see this 2 volt peak to peak is the input and white color is the output. Again, what is the relation? If I apply sinusoidal waveform, output will be cosine wave, and here if I'm just moving cursor on that, if the input is 0, sine wave is 0. At that time we get integrator output is plus. It is starting at plus. Differentiator minus पे start हुआ था. It passes through pi by 2, that is 90-degree phase shift, and it has sinusoidal waveform like this. Let's change the frequency, say 1 kilohertz, and again run it. So this is 1 kilohertz frequency, this one. What do you see? The amplitude is increased. Channel A has input. I'll bring it within visible range. So the amplitude is increased. So what do you see here? If I increase the frequency, amplitude decreases. So relation of the output amplitude with respect to input frequency is inverse in integrator. If I increases the input frequency, output amplitude decreases. What is relation between sine and means wave shape? If input is sinusoidal, output is cosine. So you can simulate such type of circuit in multisim and you can have your design. Next, we'll give a square wave. I'm giving square wave of 1 kilohertz and 1 whole peak, means 2 whole peak to peak, and I will run it. Again, relation will remain same, amplitude wala. So you can see, I'll increase the frequency again 5 kilohertz to view proper triangular waves. Okay. You can see input is square wave having 5 kilohertz frequency, amplitude 2 whole peak to peak. Output is white in color, that is nothing but triangular waveform. So another conclusion, if square wave is applied to the integrator, output is triangular wave, and amplitude of output triangular wave is dependent on input frequency. Let's change the frequency to 1 kilohertz. 5 से 1 पे नीचे लिया है मैंने frequency. Amplitude is increased. You can see here into the simulation. Amplitude is increased. Amplitude is increased. Means input frequency is decreased. Amplitude is increased. So this is how the integrator circuit works. Amplitude is increasing. Integrator circuit works. So whenever you are designing integrator or differentiator for particular range, suppose say 10 hertz to 1 kilohertz, particular circuit, either differentiator or integrator, will work perfectly as an integrator or differentiator for that particular range only. Suppose somebody is using some another range, like मुझे ये design अभी नहीं, but try it for say 100 kilohertz and run it, because 100 kilohertz पे हमने कुछ design नहीं किया है. Let's see this. Do you see any output? Yes, I need reply from your side. I applied 100 kilohertz to this 100 kilohertz square wave. Do you see any output there?
No, sir.
Yes. No,
No,
because
sir.
this integrator I think it is designed for 5 kilohertz. पिछला problem मैंने देखा नहीं, but I have designed it for up to 5 kilohertz I think. So 100 kilohertz you don't have any output. If I apply sinusoidal waveform, again you do not have any output, you can see on the screen. So whatever is the design, accordingly the circuit will work. ऐसा नहीं है कोई भी component लगा दिए and as the say schematic is of differentiator, it must work like differentiator. Schematic of integrator, it must work like differentiator. So again, concluding the integrator circuit, integrator is the circuit which will provide you the output integral part of the input with certain time constant, and if the sinusoidal waveform is applied, cosine is the output. If square wave is applied, triangular wave is the output, and output amplitude is the function of input frequency. If input frequency increases in integrator, output amplitude decreases, that is input frequency and output frequency have inverse relation. Please remember this because it is completely reverse in integrator and differentiator. In differentiator is a direct relation, and in integrator in inverse relation. One technique to remember is very easy. Like as I said, the name integrator has high I, started from I, so it has inverse relation between input frequency and output amplitude. And differentiator ka pehla letter is D, so it has what? Direct relation between input frequency and output amplitude. This is one of the simplest way to remember, else you may have confusion in this. So moving to the PPT, I think it is end. Moving to the PPT. Yes. So this problem we solved, as well as we have seen the simulation of this. Thank you very much. If you have any question from your end, over to you. There's no question? No question to say. All students, either you are getting nothing or you are not attending lecture somewhere, your phone, you may have kept your phone somewhere else and moving around. Might be sleeping. Okay, I will ask the question then. Yes, Anup Dongre. Anup. Anup Dongre, are you there? Aditi Tade.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any queries? No queries.
No, sir.
Are you getting everything? If you have no query, that
Yes,
means either you are getting everything or you are getting nothing.
sir. Little bit. I'm getting.
So you must have query then.
No, sir. I will try to understand it. If any doubt, then I will ask.
Okay, you may see the video later on. Mansi Kulkarni.
Yes, sir.
Yes, mute yourself. Mansi.
Sir.
Yes. Any question?
No, sir.
No. Mufiz Sheikh. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Mufiz.
Yes, sir.
Any question? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So I shall stop recording. Don't leave the meeting. Wait. I think there is no query to anybody. We have say 5-4 minutes